slavery and slaughter and starvation. Governments repress their people. Millions are trapped in poverty, while the nation grows rich and wealth is lavished on armaments everywhere. These are differing evils, but they are the common works of man. They reflect the imperfection of human justice, the inadequacy of human compassion, our lack of sensibility towards the suffering of our fellows. But we can perhaps remember, only for a time, those who with us are brothers. They share with us the single life, that they seek as we do, nothing but the chance to live out their lives in purpose and happiness, winning what satisfaction and fulfillment they can. Surely this bond of common faith, this bond of common goal, can begin to teach us to live. Surely we can learn, at least, to look at those around us as fellow men. And surely we can begin to work a little harder to bind up the wounds among us and to become in our own hearts brothers and countrymen once again. The answer is to rely on youth. Not a time of life, but a state of mind, a temper of the will, a quality of imagination, a predominance of courage over timidity, of the appetite for adventure over the love of ease. The cruelties and obstacles of this swiftly changing planet will not yield to the obsolete dogmas and outworn slogans. They cannot be moved by those who cling to a present that is already dying, who prefer the illusion of security to the excitement and danger that come with even the most peaceful progress. It is a revolutionary world we live in, and this generation at home and around the world has had thrust upon it a greater burden of responsibility than any generation that has ever lived. Some believe there is nothing one man or one woman can do against the enormous array of the world's ills. Yet many of the world's great movements of thought and action have flowed from the work of a single man. A young monk began the Protestant Reformation. A young general extended an empire from Macedonia to the borders of the earth. A young woman reclaimed the territory of France. And it was a young Italian explorer who discovered the New World. And the 32-year-old Thomas Jefferson who reclaimed that all men are created equal. These men move the world, and so can we all. Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events. And in the total of all those acts will be written the history of this generation. Each time a man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. Few are willing to brave the disapproval of their fellows, the censure of their colleagues, the wrath of their society. Moral courage is a rarer commodity than bravery in battle or great intelligence. Yet it is the one essential, vital quality for those who seek to change a world that yields most painfully to change. And I believe that in this generation, those with the courage to enter the moral conflict will find themselves with companions in every corner of the globe. For the fortunate among us, there is the temptation to follow the easy and familiar paths of personal ambition and financial success, so grandly spread before those who enjoy the privilege of education. But that is not the road history has marked out for us. Like it or not, we live in times of danger and uncertainty, but they are also more open to the creative energy of men than any other time in history. All of us will ultimately be judged, and as the years pass, we will surely judge ourselves on the effort we have contributed to building a new world society and the extent to which our ideals and goals have shaped that event. Our future may lie beyond our vision, but it is not completely beyond our control. It is the shaping impulse of America that neither fate nor nature, nor the irresistible tides of history, but the work of our own hands, matched to reason and principle, that will determine our destiny. There is pride in that, even arrogance, but there is also experience and truth. And any event is the only way we can live. That is the way he lived. That is what he leaves us. My brother need not be idealized or enlarged in death beyond what he was in life. To be remembered simply as a good and decent man who saw wrong and tried to right it, saw suffering and tried to heal it, saw war and tried to stop it. Those of us who loved him and who take him to his rest today pray that what he was to us, what he wished for others, will someday come to pass for all the world. As he said many times in many parts of this nation, to those he touched and who sought to touch him. Some men see things as they are and say, why? I dream things that never were and say, why not?
Good evening, peeps. How's everybody doing tonight? Shut this off real quick. So, what we just watched there before we get into saying hello to everybody was Bobby Kennedy eulogizing his brother, John, at his funeral. One of the most touching speeches that I've ever heard. I've only listened to it a couple of times. I remember hearing it back in high school. We actually had a teacher that played that for us. And stirring. Absolutely stirring. And at a time when things are going on in our country like that, I think getting back to something like that, so many, years ago, over 60 years ago, 63 years, I think this year, it hits home today more than ever. It really, really does. So, but let's say hi to everybody first, and let's get into, why I'm here. I think you know why I'm here. We all live, well, even if you don't live in this country, I have friends from outside of this country on YouTube. I'm very proud and happy for that. But it's consternation right now. It's division. And how do we get through division, and how can we help our thing? In that speech, a couple of things that were said is maybe one person can't change the world unless you're just dynamic, blessed, touched person. Okay. But we can all do a little bit. And tonight, what we're going to talk about is what you can do. Maybe I shared the link for the live. If anyone wants to come up and vent, keep it respectful. It doesn't have to be a love fest either way. You could be a Democrat or you could be Republican. You could be an independent. You could be whatever. So give me 1 second. I'm going to turn this light on here because I see quite a glare. All right. You can see my shirt. It was a wedding gift from my stepdad, by the way. Who's basically my dad. He's been around since I was very young, and it's fitting. But let's say hi to everybody first. I hope that's a little bit better. That glare was kind of wearing on me a little bit there. Ron Logan, can't hear nothing? Hopefully you can now, Ron. If you can't hear now, something might be wrong with your old ears, but hopefully not. Mustang, good to see you. I don't know if Jinx already did it, but Mustang has a channel. Good work that she does there. I'm pretty sure Mustang's a woman. I don't know. I don't know a lot of people's identities. In Discord, I pop in and out every now and then to see what's going on, and I might drop a funny comment or something. If there's a shot for me to take, and I'm going to take the shot at somebody and make like a joke or whatever. But a lot of people I don't know. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Jinx, as always, is on the case. Louise, good to see you. Who else we got? Ron Logan. Sancho still work at the Chinese restaurant. I don't know. Jill, it's good to see you too. But if you're just coming in or if you're watching this after the fact, just remind me of something. I forgot to bring something down with me. I had it upstairs. I'm downstairs today. We didn't turn our air back on, but it's hot. We're being a little tight with the money. Cheap, about 30 the air on. But I think it's going on tomorrow because we've had like 84, 85. It happens in September, but we've had hot, dry weather. Rescue all the dogs. Thank you very much. I'm not even sure if it's from you or from Jinx, but or maybe both of you colluded on it, if you will. My Troll Farm sticker. You're going to see it upstairs when I get back up there, prominently on display. I'd rather be part of the Troll Farm than the old pedo farm. There are people that support the pedos. That's not my bag. There's the link if anybody wants to come up here at some point, talk, share your feelings, vent, whatever. Hey, Big Fish, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. CJK, college football season is here. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, since we've had a lot going on here around the house, and I'll get all that into it. Let's say hi to everybody. Yeah, I'm almost positive that's Bobby's, and it's colorized, and that's why he kind of goes to that at the end. I don't know about President Ron Logan, but if you lived in McKeesport Area School District, I'd appreciate your vote for the school board. Small things, little steps, local. That's going to kind of be my whole show tonight. Local, what can you do? There's plenty of opportunities. You don't have to run for president. Gibbo After Dark, how are you? Good to see you. Hi, Aurora. I get your comment up there. There you go. Yes, Red Fox, you big dummy. He's my dad. He loved him. Absolutely loved him. And to this day, he doesn't have any of the new technology, but he'll watch fine reruns somehow on a channel and just watch and just laugh his ass off. Yeah. So Ron, I didn't turn the air back on today. It's hot up there. So we're probably gonna put it on tomorrow. But usually this time of year, we've been sleeping with the windows open. It's gonna be 85, but it's gonna go down and get cold in 58. So hey, Miss P, it's good to see you. I'll be frank. Great to see everyone saying hi to everybody. All right. So, what have I been up to? Lots of stuff, actually. We've had a lot of stuff going on around the house. Big tree taken down. That's the process still going on. It was a really nice one. It was a silver maple, but had that disease, and it started, we didn't want to fall into the house. It was a big, thick son of a bitch. This was a big tree. So had a lot of that going on. Preparing kind of for an election, coming up here in November. I've been doing stuff like that. Football season's kicked off. So my weekends are, pretty tied up watching that. My Wolverines are, 2-1. They got taken to them in Oklahoma, but it's a great time of year. It really is a really good time of year. So with everything that's just been happening around here, I plan to get back in and I plan to do an episode and something would come up. But after tonight, I do plan to get back into what we talked about. But if this takes off and people enjoy this, maybe we could do some more of this. This wouldn't be necessarily true crime, right? We're not going to discuss any cases in particular like we do and trying to break them apart and break them out or anything like that. So this is just going to be what's going on. And everybody knows what's going on, right? Whether you live in this country or not. Recently, September the 10th, conservative podcaster, voice Charlie Kirk was assassinated at a small university in Utah. They have arrested the guy. I don't want to say any names. People are everyone knows who he is. That's who they believe did it. Yeah, stand trial, that yada yada yada. It's a beyond bizarre case or situation. I encourage you to check out John Kelly. He does a quick little profile on the guy just by his mannerisms and actions without knowing everything there is to know. But what caused this to happen? How can this happen? That's not necessarily what we're going to talk about today. Was this him? Do I think it was him? Do I think it was something else? Is there a conspiracy? What none of that. It's where we've gotten to as a country, and that's debatable, right? We are in a crisis mode. I'm 46. I've never seen things this decisive. There'd be decisive issues, right? Abortion is a decisive issue. Gun control is a decisive. These are decisive issues. But every single issue is so like, fuck you, no, fuck you, fuck. It's not going to work that way. It doesn't make a difference, because what's going to happen is if your guy's in, if your party is in, if you're a Republican right now, Trump's in, so maybe you like things, you're happy with the way things are going. But the Democrats get in and like they're going to crush, like Trump's trying to crush Democratic things, and it never kind of gets in the middle. Everybody's so at odds with each other. I look at people, and I used to look at people like Ralph Nader, and I look at people like Rand Paul, and his dad, Ron Paul. And I don't agree with everything they say in any way, shape, or form, but they're kind of in the middle. They'll vote over here and they'll vote over here. So we need more of that. We need more of that. The middle of the road's the most drivable surface. The edges are the gutters. The far extremes are the gutters. And who knows what this guy's story was. I'm not going to get in here and think, hey, I think he was this. I think he was that. He was into video game. I don't know. I haven't really dug that deep into it. But really what I want to talk about is the reaction that people have had. Even in my own area, McKeesport Area School District. Remember, I won a primary. I'm not on the board yet. I am just I have to win in November, and there's 4 seats and there's 5 people running. But we had a school officer there. His name's Ralph Johnson. He's a retired McKeesport police officer, and he had you could go to Twitter and just look up Ralph Johnson McKeesport. He's a school police officer now, and he made a call or posted a picture supposedly if this is him, and the screenshot isn't fake, but it's been shared an awful lot of times. He hasn't commented on it. I have off the record knowledge that he has been suspended but not fired. But anyways, it has a picture of a bullet going through Kirk's neck, and it says debate this, and this is what the picture is. And if you, again, Ralph Johnson, go to Twitter, and I just think that that's heinous, it's foul, and it's reprehensible. His family and his children were there. And, not to go out on a limb or anything, but if I were on the board and I'm not, I would say this guy got to go. No offense to your service that you had to your community, but to keep it real, you got to go. You have freedom of speech. Freedom of speech keeps you out of prison. It doesn't make you a good person. It doesn't keep you employed. Now, what I really didn't know that much about Charlie Kirk. When I saw his platform and what he talked about, what he stood for, I probably disagree with about 75% on what the guy said. I truly do. And that's just my take on it. But his wife and family are there. The guy did nothing to deserve what he got. And if people say, well, I think he was racist or this or that, well, you could have that opinion, and you might be right. But should we kill racist people? Should we go around killing all racist people? I don't think we should. I think that we should look at them and say, you're racist, and it's 2025. So we know that you have a smaller IQ than regular folks, and you have a smaller brain than regular folks. And maybe we put a bell around them so it rings so we know when they're coming or something like that. But my opinion was he wasn't racist. But even if he was racist, let's say he was. Let's say it's a Klan leader up there. And I'm no fan of the KKK. Believe me, I think they're all a bunch of fucking redneck fuckheads. And they're uneducated, and they're taking Christianity, and they're twisting it and mangling it. And again, the combined IQ, if you have a Klugel of Klansmen, is probably about 150. And I don't know how many Klugel is anymore. Is it 12? Is it a dozen? They're white? Do they look at them like eggs? Because they're, I don't know. But no, I don't think that they should be killed. Now, if you murder someone, you have crimes against children, you do these different things. We have the death penalty in different states. Okay, you got to do what you have to do. But what's happening in this aftermath of this and how divisive everybody has gotten. And one of the things is in the political spectrum. Now, I'm a registered Democrat because almost all the people that run for everything around here are Democrats. It would be hard for me to have a voice in a primary if I wasn't. But if I felt that strongly about the Democratic Party, I would leave it, become independent, Republican, whatever else it would be. I'm not happy with everything that goes on, but there's a lot of good local people. And you'll see that this episode is tonight, local people that happen to be Democrats. We have some really good people that are Republican too, locally. A neighboring town, White Oak, has a Republican mayor, and she's a great lady. So at the end of the day with me, I don't give a shit. right? I'm registered that way, but I'm not, you're not going to see me blabbing this or that. Everything should be coming together and working on fixing things. I'm a fireman. There's houses on fire. Are they Democrats or no? We don't ask any of those questions. Did they post anything bad about? No. We go put the goddamn fire out. And that's what needs to happen in politics in this country. And it needs to start at a local level. But anyways, the vitriol that's going back and forth, and the people that have gone back and forth. I'll say this: if that shooter's job was to silence Mr. Kirk, I think I said Charlie Kelly a couple of times. I apologize. He's an old basketball referee, and he passed away recently. He was fantastic. His brother, actually, Bruce, just passed away. Charlie passed away about 5 years ago. But if his idea was to shut Mr. Kirk up, boy, did he miscalculate that one, because now his voice is multiplied probably by 1,000, 1 million maybe. And again, it's not whether you agreed or disagreed with him. People are killing people because of their ideas. You can't kill an idea. You can't kill a thought. By killing the person who says that idea or says that thought, all you've done is make that thing blow up now. Now it's all over the place. Now people, I didn't really know a whole lot about Charlie Kirk until after this. Now I know a lot about him. So hopefully, the family gets taken care of. And for people that have really, really bad things to say, I think you need to look in the mirror. And the people that are saying these horrible things about anyone that gets killed like this. Now, you want to save Osama bin Laden, child molester, some shit like that. Fuck them, right? Fuck them. But someone like this, go over political things. The people that are saying this are miserable sons of bitches. Let me tell you that right now. They are miserable people. And if anybody listening or anybody in the chat, hey, Coach Kev, you're off on this, we have to go a different way, because I think that you're just a miserable son of a bitch about this. Now, again, if I debated Charlie Kelly, 75% of the things we'd be on opposite sides. But I would have encouraged that debate. Like he seemed to, from what I know about him, he seemed to encourage that. Oh, he's smart. He's this or that. He says this or that. Listen, the guy says what he's thinking. He's not hiding anything. Some things that I thought that he said, I was, I'm a little offended by it maybe, but the way he's saying it, it comes from a pure place. It comes from his heart. This is what he believes. He's not spoon feeding people lines of shit. But people's reaction to this, I just don't understand it. You have these Democrat Republican factions in the United States right now, and it's almost like a team. You could either be a Michigan or Ohio State fan. You can't be in the middle. You can't like players from both teams. And that's where we've gotten to. Why we've gotten there, you can point fingers. A lot of people say President Trump did this. The Democrats, we're here, right? We're here. How do we fix it, right? We can look in the past. We can point fingers all we want. How do we fix it? Here's my theory on fixing it. Local. Get active locally. Run for your boards. Run for your school boards, your city councils, your borough councils, your positions, whatever it is that you can run for. Be active. Go to meetings. And when you go to meetings, don't try to shout people down, because that's not how things get done. Hey, you son of a bitch, you need to pave my goddamn road. Well, that mayor's going to be sitting back there like, oh, yeah? Well, I'll be damned if we ever pave your road ever again. You don't have to go kiss anyone's ass, but go talk, explain things, explain where you are. One of the things that we do when we negotiate a contract with the union, we don't go with the city and we know, like, say we have like 10 issues in dispute. We want a raise. They don't want to give us a raise. We want more guys. They want to give us whatever it is. We look at the things that we have in common first and build off of that, right? These are the little easy things. So we started building off of that to the big things. So if there's 10 issues in dispute, we have 7 of them agreed upon. It's about 70%. And then there's 3 and maybe 1 and 1's a trade-off. We take one, they take the other one. And maybe the third issue we kind of cut in half, and how we do that. That's what needs to happen in American politics. It doesn't make you weak. There's always a middle ground. A compromise is the key. And people think by compromising, it shows signs of weakness today. And that's what I see from a lot of people. Not compromising is a sign of weakness. It's a sign of weakness. Now, I'm not talking about appeasement or people start invading different countries. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about politics. Human beings sitting at a table arguing over stuff like that, But that's my thing, and I'll get more into it. I want to read some comments and see what everybody's saying. And again, regardless of how you felt about Kirk and what his politics were and what he said, you could disagree. Like I told you, I disagree with probably about 75% of what he said. we would have debated it. And I would look forward. I think it'd have been really cool to do that. I would have enjoyed that. I think. I don't know if that guy had a couple beers or not. He probably didn't like to fire up a jammer or anything like that. But whatever it was, have a glass of lemonade and bullshit. I enjoy that. I really do. And you know, that opportunity's been taken away from many people, and you know, more importantly, his family, and they're there, and people were celebrating a father killed. The guy didn't have any, you know, it wasn't like he was a murderer. He was doing anything to kids. He had an opinion, regardless of what his opinion was. He had an opinion. That was all. Oh, you got the troll form sticker too. So I was laughing. He's even hot downstairs. I was laughing because I showed it to my beautiful wife Brooke, who's leaving, and it said Mr. and Mrs. Coach Kev on the envelope. The Chiefs, you know what, CJK, they've been tough. They've not been tough this year, but you can't stay on top forever. But I wouldn't count them out. I don't think they're gonna. I think you'll still see them in the playoffs. You'll see them there. Yeah. And the conspiracy theories. Here's something else that I'm seeing that's interesting. You know how I always try to look back, like take a step back and look at things. So I see a lot of Republican, and I see this. There are a couple guys in the fire department, staunch Republicans, staunch Trump supporters, have two different conspiracy theories on why this happened. Now they're getting at each other, and they're starting to get pissed off at each other over it. I just don't know. I know that when I read the notes or the messages between him and his boyfriend or whatever, transitioning, whatever it was, his significant other, that it didn't seem like it was a human conversation. How people were saying AI, hey, I get where you're coming from, but it just seemed like real robotic. It seemed odd. And I'm not saying it was, because again, I'm not getting into conspiracy theories or anything like that, but yeah, but I think that there is a lot that we can do. And it's locally. You get involved locally. So you find out, is there a need for something, depending on where you live. Everything's different, right? I live in a pretty poor community, and a lot of kids are poor. So through the fire department, we do the codes for kids. We bought a snow cone machine. But what can you do? Is there, even if you round up your clothes this weekend. I got a bunch of old shit, you know, I'm going to get my summer stuff and put it in the attic. Or the cellar, as we call it here, or whatever you have, and this stuff. I'm not going to wear this again. This doesn't fit me. Put it in. Give it somewhere. It's going to make you feel better too. And I don't think it's a hard thing for people to do, and just have that little bit of real human interaction. But the internet and you know, YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and we've seen it through cases. I mean, there's still to this day people that come on here and talk about, you know, Delphi and Richard Allen's innocence day after fucking day after day. Holy mackerel. You got to move on. You got to find something else. And people just get obsessed. And it's almost like a drug. Your internet, I shouldn't sound old as shit saying that, but like your social medias, it's almost becomes like a drug. And I don't know if they have a name for it yet, but people are just so like addicted to it. It's like they have to have it, and they go nuts, and they go absolutely ape shit crazy. I've never heard Kirk say anything racist. Or remarks on affirmative action have merit, just like often in the past, a man will be given a job over a woman. Yeah. I think the thing that people talk about is if he goes in there and if there's a black pilot, he wonders if that pilot was a DEI or affirmative action, whatever you want to call it, hire. I appreciate his honesty. I don't think that. I'll be perfectly honest with you. When I walk in and see almost any kind of pilot, when I get on a plane, I try to guess, like, I wonder how much military service they have. Because we have helicopters that land, medical helicopters, and we run probably 200 or 300 a year. Pull up with the ladder truck that's downtown, sit there, put the lights on, turn your headlights out, put the flashers on. They land. The medics come with the stretcher. They give the stretcher to the ambulance crew comes out with their stretcher. I'm sorry. They get in the ambulance. They go to the hospital, pick the patient up for whatever they're doing, get back in the helicopter and take off. So we really don't do anything. On occasion, they'll have someone get shot or a bad car wreck or something, or after a fire, they get pulled out. They'll take them straight from the scene to the landing zone. But it's all, you know, it's all kind of pretty standard, and there's not a whole lot that we're doing there. But all those guys are military guys. Like you talked to every single one of them are military, ex-military of some sort. So yeah, the first thing that I heard was I saw his face before. Like I remember seeing that somewhere, but I didn't know who he was or his beliefs or anything like that. Yeah, you're always going to have division, but what I'd like to see is get back to like the normal, if this even makes sense, the normal division that we used to have, where people, around election time it kind of got heated, but like the rest of the year, for the most part, maybe there was people fighting in Congress or things like that, but the people weren't at each other's throats. But remember, we didn't have social media, so every single day you didn't have to hear, well, I don't let's say per se, I don't like Donald Trump, but my neighbor loves him. And, I talked to him a couple of times. Hey, how you doing? For a couple of minutes. And that's it. He never brings up Donald Trump. But when I'm friends with him on Facebook, every single day, if something is shared and like the animosity grows, or vice versa. Say, I like Trump and he doesn't. And that's just a constant, like, it's just a constant pounding. And people, with that addictiveness, what can you do instead of that? Get addicted to something else. Get addicted to helping people. Get addicted to, bridging gaps and things like that. You remember, like I said before, the Me Too movement, when all the Democrats were, hey, we need this person needs to get fired. This is their job. Now it is totally switched, and now the Republicans are doing. I think both sides were fucked up for what they said. Is it for someone losing their job? Yeah, it depends on what your job is, to be perfectly honest with you. It doesn't mean it makes your job less meaningful, but if you're in a position of public trust, like a police officer or a civil servant, yeah, there should be consequences. And depending how bad it is, if you have that little empathy, and I know one of the things was, and I don't know if he said this or not, but empathy is a made up word. That would be, if that's what he said, and that's the context he said, and I haven't gone back and looked at this, I would be my biggest disagreement with him. I think the number one thing his country needs is more empathy. If we had more empathy, and empathy is the ability to try to put yourself in someone else's shoes, and not just look at someone and be like, oh, I wonder what it'd be like to be them, or it's not just feeling bad for people. It's I'd like to help them out, but it's just not like a pity thing. People think empathy is just a pity thing. To me, it isn't. To me, it's trying to put myself in their shoes. Okay, you know what? It's tough, or whatever the case may be. But if that's what he said, that was the big thing that people always come back to. I'd love to talk to him about that. Maybe I could have changed his mind. Really. But there's other things. Then you have September 11th. We have the anniversary of September 11th. When a country comes together, something terrible brings us together. It always brings us together. And I think even as divisive as we are now, if something were to happen, we would still come together. There'd still be people taking their pot shots, and you'd have your extreme right and your extreme left who are almost meeting in the back. Now their views are so crazy that they're almost agreeing in the back. And we don't want those folks to get together for sure, because I don't know what would happen there, but a time of unity, a lot of people sharing a lot of good things. And then there was a lot of people that were comparing on both sides, comparing 9/11 to Charlie Kirk. And I mean, that's apples and baseballs. They're not, they're two tragedies, but they're two separate tragedies. We always want to compare. Was this worse than that? We can't judge grief, how people feel. I mean, if you're the Kirk family, yeah, you might think that this was like the worst thing that's ever happened in our lives to us, and we were there for it. If you were at the ground zero, or if you were a first responder, if you lost a family member, if you were in one of the buildings, then that's the worst thing that happened. If you were like in a plane crash, that would be the worst thing. So everything has to have perspective, and everything has to have, where are you viewing this from? What lens are you viewing this out of? And we can't say that my pain is worse than someone else's pain, your pain, or this or that. We can't do that. It's not fair to do that. We can't judge. Who wants to get into judging tragedies anyway? You just got to say, man, I hurt, you hurt, we both hurt. We hurt for different reasons, but our hurt is the same. Whether we're black or white, whether we're Republican or Democrat, whether we were born in this country, whether we immigrated, the hurt is the same. The pain is the same. I can tell you, I've seen, unfortunately, through my work, the insides of every kind of person there is. White, black, gay, straight, trans. One guy, I don't know what you'd call him. He had both parts. I've seen people from other countries. All their bones look the same inside. When they bleed, it's all the same color. They scream the same. They're in the same amount of pain. They're given the same treatment. They're given the same drugs. We do the same things. So I just, it's hard for me to understand. I grew up in a heavy Democratic area, a Rust Belt town, which was, ass kicking during the steel mill, but then, everything shut down. And it was an inner city. It was a city. So it wasn't always an inner city, but it was a city. So we grew up with a lot of different people. We didn't have a lot of people from out of the country, but we had, probably half black, half white. And I think that's given me a good perspective on things to try to understand different people and see what they do. But I've seen people on both sides also take advantage of this. Take advantage of this situation, pushing different things that they want to push. Leave this situation out of your political narrative to do whatever it is that you want to do. I am a Democrat. I am, I've told you guys this before. It's the truth. I'm pro-gun and I'm pro-choice up to a certain level. A certain time period or certain time frame and stuff like that. So it's hard to put me in a box. The gun that was used was his grandpa's gun or something, and his dad, he took it or whatever the case may be, but it wasn't like it was an illegal gun. However, it's very incredibly easy to get an illegal gun if you wanted to. Crimes on the street, you can very easily do that. I think the answer there is stricter punishment of gun things. So this is what I mean by that. If you get caught with a gun, illegal weapon, whether you have, say you have no priors, you get caught with an illegal weapon, 5 years. 5 years. You get caught with an illegal weapon twice, 10. You get caught with an illegal weapon 3 times, 25. There's no flex. We don't give a shit if you were a Boy Scout or what you are. You had an illegal weapon. Boom, 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 boom. And that's it. That's just an idea. But a lot of people, and then compared to school children and things like that. And listen, I don't have a problem with that. As long as you're showing empathy for Kirk too. Hey, I'm showing empathy for Kirk. This is terrible what happened to him. But I'd like to see the same outpouring of emotion for school children. And I think the people that are saying that, a lot of them are coming from a good place and coming from the heart. But again, we're trying to judge grief. And, something bad happens and you say, well, what about the grief over here? And it's just, we need to share it all together. We need to all share it together and say, how can we fix this? And we need to look back in a situation where people storm campuses and they're a little bit of a controversial figure. And one of their big things is debate, despite it being peaceful debate. The kid on the roof didn't think it was a peaceful debate. So we just need to be careful. How can this not happen again? With the school shootings and stuff, and people bring up valid points. There was a school shooting that day. There was a shooting today in Pennsylvania. 5 policemen shot. From the last thing I read before I came on, 3 of them are deceased. I don't know. Do we know that these things are happening now because of social media and 24/7 news? And, you click a button and boom, you got a story. Or what is it? Or are we just going down that path where we don't want to go to? We just need to figure it out. We need to be better. But here's how you can be better. This also makes you feel better. Do things locally. Like I said, run for your boards. Be active. Just go to meetings. Make it a thing. Hey, we're going to go to a council meeting, and after we're going to go have a cheeseburger and a couple beers and bullshit and play pool. Make it a thing. Help people out. Cut your neighbor's grass if they're old, if they can't do it. Shovel their snow. Don't make anyone ask you to do it. Just goddamn go do it. I wish more people would do that. And if we pitched in and a little by little, how can that change things? You're a dreamer. If you call me a dreamer, I'm going to say thank you. That's a compliment to me. I don't want to have my feet grounded. I want to have my head in the clouds. If you're not aiming for the best possible scenario and you're not aiming for that, that just total equality for everybody and that utopia feeling for society, and then we go, oh, that's impossible to reach. It could be. Nelson Mandela said everything's impossible till it's done. But if that's not our goal, why should our goal just be in the middle? When I was a basketball coach, hey, how do you want to do this year? Well, I'd like to go 500. Let me tell you. Hell no, I don't want to go 500. I want to win the goddamn championship. I'm going to lie to you? No, because you work for the newspaper. I want to win it all. And I think that's what we should go for. We should go for it all. We should try to get it done. And there's ways to do it. Like I said, volunteering, just helping. And if you do, let's say you are a staunch Trump guy or gal, be nice to the people on the other side. Do something different. Like if you say you walk in a coffee shop and you're a Trump guy or gal, and there's someone behind you with Kamala Harris pin, buy their coffee for them. And go back and tell other Kamala Harris fans, hey, a Trump supporter bought me a cup of coffee. And maybe 1 or 2 of them Trump supporters was like, I never heard of a Trump, and then boom, the ball gets rolling. You can't kill an idea. You can't do that. It's going to live on. And if that's what that, like I said, if that's what that tried to do with Mr. Kirk here, wow, he screwed the pooch on that one, because this guy is one of viral forever situations. There's been comparison, there's a meme with him, Malcolm X. If you watched my short I shared, I encourage you to go check it out. All the good things in America, I kind of try to put together, the good people. Like this is what America means to me. And I use the song "Lean on Me" because that's what we need to do, and that's how we got to where we got to. Being a powerhouse that we are, or however you want to say it, that's where we got to by coming together and figuring shit out. We watch the YouTube, the true crime. A lot of us were in the Delphi sphere. Some of you got into some other things, the Koberger or Karen Reed and stuff like that. You saw the same thing happen there at a smaller level than it's happening across the world or happening in American politics. It happens everywhere. It happens locally, but you got to get involved and just try to be a better person, help people out. And there's something to that, man. I always talk about the universe and the law of attraction. I don't think it's hocus pocus. I don't think it's horse shit. It makes me feel better. It brings me calm. And I would just hope that everybody could find something from that, from this tragedy, and just say, look, we can't be like this. Like, if maybe this will be, the Charlie Kirk's kind of legacy to us in a way where someone finally says, hey, this political crazy shit, we just had Democratic people killed a few months ago in Minnesota. This is not what we are. We're not. This is stuff that you would read on the news from third world country here. They shot some congressman. Like, it's happening here in the United States. And I know people say, well, Charlie Kirk wasn't a politician, wasn't this, wasn't that. A lot of people loved him. A lot of people cared. But a lot of people were hurt, genuinely hurt by this. And we shouldn't make fun of that. And we shouldn't pick apart who that person was. Hey, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. You should be, hey, yeah, that's terrible. I'm sorry that happened. And, read the room. Maybe the day that he's killed isn't the time to say, well, I disagree with everything he said or this or that, or take shots at him or things like that. And you certainly can disagree. I do, but I'm not going to go up the next day. Like, read the room. Just be a good person. Do you have to say that much? And there's a lot of people that felt he was racist, and they attacked him immediately. The guy that I talked about early on in the show here, and they attacked immediately. That's a hurt person, and maybe that person was hurt, and they're legitimately hurt, and they're lashing out, and they don't know what they're saying, and they don't know how hurtful their words are, because hurt people, and unless they get help, unless they can put that behind them, they're going to continue to hurt people their entire lives because they're hurt. So, hey, JJ, good to see you. I just think that we have to make a world somehow, some way where there's less hurt people, because these are the people that are hurting people. The hurt, whether you see them on TV, whether you see them on YouTube, railing about this and that, talking about other people, those people are all hurt people. And I wish that they could figure out what their hurt is, identify it, and then, carry out, move on. A ham goose. Canadian. Oh, I'm glad that you feel better, and hopefully you can hear now, Ron, and you're relieved and enjoy your ham goose. Great to see everybody. Yeah, I agree, Louise. I think it is an addiction, the social media thing, and it's like, and then you almost get like, it's almost like a football teams argue, like Steeler fans, Brown fans. I said Michigan, Ohio State before. I do think that there's something to that. Then you end up getting, so you're bigger than just yourself. You're not just sitting at home watching the news and saying, oh, that son of a bitch in Biden or that goddamn Trump. You now are in a community where you're sharing ideas. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to go somewhere and talk to people. You can be anonymous if you want to. You could say things that you might not say if you put your name to it. You could say things that you might not say to other people's faces. But I think there's certainly a lot to that. And like, in a way, that's good, because people are now branching out. Maybe people that sat at home alone or didn't have really, a whole lot going on in their lives. Excuse me. They now have this other life, and they have these other things going on. They have these friends that they've made online. I've made some tremendous online friends for life. I talk to people all the time. I just told you I got the mail. Frank Meister messaged me about the shooting, the police. He texted me, and all kind of stuff. I'm friends with people on Facebook, and I always comment like Frosty stuff or whatever. So that's a good thing. There's a good thing to make friends. But some of these things that are happening, it's just like, you know, these they're like cesspool echo chambers, and it's in every single walk of life. This isn't a YouTube issue, right? This is everywhere. So, you know, it's absolutely. Hold on a second. Put the link down again. Big Fish asked for it. I'm going to stay on just a little bit longer because I'm going to go too long. Thank you. I'll be frank. The floor always on my mind. One of the other things that I've been doing here locally too is working on some. It's a case that I talked about before. It's a local case. I just feel stupid saying I'm not working on it. I'm not officially tasked, but there's been some things that I've had opportunities to maybe run down. And I've been doing that too. So hopefully you can trust me, Ron. I'm a city folk, but yeah, I believe a man's got to have a code. It's important. I think you could trust Rescue All the Dogs too, Ron. Definitely could. I trust no one from the government. Hey, listen, it's tough. It's tough to do. Like, so the FBI, like when I always talk about the FBI, like the criminal, you know, the profilers and the behavioral science, behavioral analysis now called unit. And I am having White Claws tonight. The Claw. I'm gonna have a couple on the porch with my beautiful bride after this, because it's nice and cool on the porch. Like I said, going out like 58 at night, but it's like goddamn 85 during the day. And I ain't complaining, but it hasn't rained here since like middle of August, something like that. So, yeah, I totally get it. It's beyond bizarre. Then they have a note. They have a note, right, from the shooter, and then the Patel guy says the note's destroyed. Big Fish, how are you?
Hi.
Good to hear from you. Haven't heard from you from a while, but how you been? Can you hear me?
I can. For some reason, I have like a lag on my end. So hold on one sec.
Oh, okay. If you have any other YouTube devices open, like your phone or anything, try closing that.
Okay.
I learned that a while ago.
Okay. I think I got it.
All right. Hearing me okay now?
I am. Yeah, you're good now. We're all good now.
Okay. What do you got on it? Go ahead.
I think that this issue is kind of like relevant within our own community, because I feel like there's two groups or whatever, and oftentimes like you don't really consider people on the internet as like, it's easy to like forget that those are like actual people that have feelings, and like then there's like groupthink, and also just like algorithms like funnel people into two different groups. So like my YouTube feed is all like basically Republican based viewpoint on Charlie Kirk. And so like you're going to be like getting that confirmation bias in everything that you watch. And so you kind of like get this skewed, even like AI, like if you ask it a question, it's going to like echo back to you how you ask it. It's going to give you the information you want to hear. And so it's kind of like hard to get out of that bubble.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of like the algorithms, and that's bigger than YouTube too. Facebook, everyone has that. So if that's what you're looking for, you're going to kind of get reinforcement on your idea already, as opposed to logical opposition, I guess I would say. Something that like you could look at and be like, well, I didn't think of that before. Maybe there's a point over there too.
Yeah, and then like also just like with shorts, you'll like those either show like Charlie Kirk being very like fair-minded in his discussions, and then there's also ones where he's like talking over the people, and he is being like a little bit rude, which obviously is not at all a reason to shoot somebody. Like, that's preposterous. That's crazy that people are okay with that. That's like sad. But so you can like literally, it shapes your viewpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another good point too. Things are clipped together. People only watch a couple things. A lot of things are taken out of context every day in the media. So I definitely get it too. But like moving forward, if you had something, your one wish for coming out of this Charlie Kirk situation, if there's one thing that you could wish that we could do better as a country, both sides or everything like that, what would it be? What would his legacy be moving forward? Not on what he did, but how he can improve life for the entire country and debating and everything like that moving forward. Is there anything like that you would pinpoint?
Well, I think it is important to be able to have like discussions with people. And there was this one video I watched of him, and it was like a father and son that came up to the mic. And the son was conservative, and the father was like progressive. And he was talking to him, and he was like, you have to remember that you guys grew up in different time eras. So like for your father to like trust or like not trust institutions versus trusting institutions, like people have different backgrounds and like different reasons why they feel very strongly about certain things. And like that's not to be like overlooked, like nobody's a bad person. Like, at least in my opinion, I think people are good in general. And so like if they feel a certain way about like Charlie Kirk, it's because they feel like he's either fighting for like the underdog or fighting against the underdog. Like people just get like, I don't know, you get protective of your friends or family and stuff like that. And so I don't know. I guess like I think one thing that helps me to be like more even-minded in politics is like I'm a registered independent, and so like I don't really like identify with a certain tribe. So like I could see how that could like make you go into one group if you're not even like really like I mean nobody agrees with everything on each side, I don't think,
Oh, I'm sure that they don't. Yeah, but it just seems like there's people that just, it's almost like they're rooting for like their sports team. Like they're in, hey, we're with these people over here. These are our friends. And no matter what the other side says, it has to be wrong. Like, and even in the people defending people that are attacking, I've seen people defend people that attack, Kirk and making the memes and stuff like that and saying this is what he deserved or whatever. First of all, no one deserves to get shot and killed in front of their family. I would say even if they were a criminal, even if they did kill someone, that should be done somewhere else. The family shouldn't have to see that. But people are driven so far away from each other that they can make these comments. Like, and it's hard to understand people that I know have made these comments and put stuff on social media. And I'm just like I know you skew left, but like you really feel that way, or are you just doing that for some kind of clout? But I think these people feel that way.
One sec, sorry.
Yeah, I do. I think they feel that way, which is even worse than them, I guess doing it for clout. This is their honest feelings on it. And that's,
I think like, yeah, I don't know. Like in the chat, Mustang was like, oh, it's something we actually agree on. And like, I think that's maybe an important thing to remember is like, whoever you're talking to, like whether you disagree, like I don't know what that word is. Vehemently. Yeah, with them on like something, like there's probably more that you have in common than you realize. And so just like trying to find common ground a little bit, and I don't know, just having like understanding that people are coming from different places and they have different life experiences, different lived experiences. And also like when I was just out of like high school, I was very, very like Democrat. And so you need a little bit of time to like learn, or you like everybody's on a path of like learning. And so maybe they're just not to that point where they actually see your point of view yet, but they will get there,
I agree with that. I agree with that totally. And it was like, go to what I was saying before about we were negotiating a contract with the city. We would have all the things we agree on, like the easy issues. And there'd be a lot more easy issues than hard issues. Like there'd be 5 or 6 easy issues and maybe only 2 hard issues. So we'd get all the easy issues out of the way. So maybe if people, when they went in and they like met each other and started talking to each other, started debating, instead of debating on the things that they disagreed on, take all the things that you agree on first and be like, well, you know what? There's 10 things here and we agree on 8 of them. So we're actually really close in agreement instead of just those 2 things they disagree on. And that like, it takes over the argument and it takes over all the talking.
Well, that's actually, I think that's like a really good idea. And they say it like when you're critiquing someone too, to like say something that they did well, then your critique, and then follow it up with something that another like thing they did well, like
sandwiching. Yep.
And so like maybe that would be a good policy for talking politics as well. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be. That was a coaching thing too, the sandwiching thing. Well, I've heard of that, and there's guys at work, the bosses at work that do that also. But hey, I'm getting ready to get out of here, but I definitely appreciate you coming up and sharing your feelings here. And it's just, everybody. I mean, I don't have to worry about people to come in my chat. There's people in the chat. We have disagreements on different cases or other different things or even political things. But everybody's like, like if Coach Kev's chat could be the United States of America, we have a lot of different opinions, but everybody's like, okay, well, we're all here for the same thing. And we're not going to let these 2 or 3 things or this case or that case we disagree on and stuff like that. And I think that would be, not that my 30 people in chat are going to change the world, but maybe if you go out and do something and Mustang and Jinx and Miss P and everybody's just like, you get the ripple effect, like the Bobby Kennedy speech I played to start this up. But
yeah, I mean, it's never going to hurt to be kind to somebody.
Yeah. And eventually that ripple gets to the other end of the ocean, right? And it's got to come back. So I don't know. Again, people call me a dreamer, and I say thank you if you do that. That's not a shot to me, but thank you so much for coming up. I'm gonna let you go. You have anything to say on your way out? Charlie Kirk, otherwise, general message, anything. What do you got?
No, just you've always been very kind, and like I've always felt comfortable around you, and I appreciate that a lot.
Well, not a problem. Yeah, always good having you, Big Fish. Very good talking to you once again, and have a good rest of the week. And
you might have to like kick me out because I don't know how to get out.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's all right. I'm not sure. I've only been a guest a couple of times, but I'm going to let you go here. Thank you for coming up and talking with me. So I'm going to play, before I get out of here, I'm going to say bye. And I'm going to play one video. And I'm going to play, that's going to play us out. It's a very short speech, but it's one of my favorite speeches. I'm going to take this down real quick once I get it up there. Yeah. But anyways, before I go, I want to thank everybody for coming in. Except we're going to get ready to hang out on the porch. She was picking up her daughter from basketball, and it's hot in here. But I appreciate Big Fish for coming. I appreciate everyone for talking. I know we have a lot of different people on the political spectrum in here, and everybody was really cool and respectful. And like everyone that like I talked to on YouTube agreed that, there's things we could have done, or people shouldn't be saying what they're saying. Someone was killed in front of their children, and we could disagree, and we're okay to disagree. And we we're adults. Be adults. U.S. politicians, be adults. God damn it! Wow, how hard is it to be? But I hope everyone has the rest of their good week. We got some NFL football tomorrow, starting up some college, and then the weekend. So I hope your favorite team does good this week. My Wolverines are at Nebraska, only 2.5-point favorites. Kind of scares me a little bit, but we'll see. If you're in the betting, you might know, you might not. Check out everybody here that's been in my chat that have pages, the links that were shared by the great Jinx, the Boss Mod. And I'm going to leave you with one thing here. One of my favorite speeches of all time. And it's not a long one, but it's a good one. And it's the great Dr. King. night, everybody.
And tomorrow, I still have a dream.
Yeah.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream